Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Today is the last chance to see the folks from Madisonville Marine in Knoxville. They're at the East Tennessee Fishing Show over at the Expo Center on Merchants Drive today. They have rebates going right now of $1,000 and more on select models of, get this, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, Skeeter boats, Sweetwater Godfrey pontoons, Stingray boats, Hurricane deck boats, and heck, I don't know, maybe more. Madisonville Marine, it's a great time to buy a boat, and there is no better place to buy a boat than Madisonville Marine, especially when they come to Knoxville. Get out and see them at the East Tennessee Fishing Show at the Knoxville Expo Center today. All right, back with Josh and Ryan, our recruiting experts. I asked them to send me a list of top 3 guys that may flip to Tennessee. Now, technically, anybody could flip to Tennessee, but you guys tried to list realistic and best guys, kind of combine that here, I guess. Let's take a look. Your lists aren't exactly the same this time around. Josh, you've got Connis Miller, number 1. Ryan, you've got him number 3. We've already talked about Miller. Why do you think there's such a good chance that Tennessee flips him?
Well, getting him on campus was a really good sign because they tried in December to get Miller on campus. He didn't show up, and with him being committed to Auburn, it's always easy to be hesitant. So to get him here this weekend, that I think goes back to what Ryan mentioned last segment. You've got some kind of hope if you can get an Auburn commit on campus 2 weeks less than that before signing day. Okay,
let's go through Josh's list, and we'll go through Ryan's list. Josh, number 2, you get defensive tackle Nesta Silvera, who I hope they sign just so we can talk about Nesta Silvera. Your thoughts on who is he and why do you think he could flip from?
Yeah, terrific name, terrific player, has a terrific teammate in town as well this weekend from American Heritage High School down in Fort Lauderdale in Tyson Campbell, defensive back. But Tennessee really needs help up front, and I think it's impressive and it gives you really good hope for 2019 that you can get these level players on campus when they're committed elsewhere. But to get him in town, I would still say it's a long shot.
Well, who's he committed to at the moment?
Sorry, Silvera's committed to Miami.
Okay.
But for him to visit is a really good sign. I'd say a long shot for him to sign with Tennessee.
Okay, number 3, Jordan Miller, listed as a 2-star there, defensive tackle Jordan Miller. Who's he committed to? Why do you think Tennessee can flip him?
Well, and maybe he's not committed. That's been difficult, but he's been committed to Georgia Southern, and that name's not going to excite fans.
Exactly.
But what will excite is that bigger schools have come in more recently, and I think that's why he's probably no longer committed, and he'd probably be a more realistic player. That's more of a Tennessee take, I would say.
Okay. Miami just offered him on Friday, Georgia Tech, South Carolina, some others, so he won't be a 2-star on signing day if I had to guess.
Yeah. Funny how that works. Yeah. All right, Ryan, you're number 1, Quay Walker, who we talked about in that last segment. Remind folks, who's he looking toward right now, and why do you think he can be switched?
Yeah, he's an Alabama commitment, and a guy, I mean, 24/7 Sports, our final rankings, we put him as a 5-star, so really good player, and he's going to be a tough pull. But I think Tennessee has a real shot there. They've got him on campus the first visit weekend of January, and they've got some connections to him from their staff, Jeremy Pruitt, Kevin Scherer. So it's Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia. All 4 have a shot. I think Tennessee, as of right now, might have the slightest of leads going into his visit this weekend to Auburn, but long way to go.
All right, and tell me about running back Sebo Flemister.
Another good name. Georgia Tech commitment, chose not to sign in the early signing period after Tennessee offered him. He visits Tennessee a couple weeks ago, leaning toward Tennessee. Do they take another running back? They've got to see if they can hold on to Anthony Grant, among other factors. They've got to see what kind of space there is in this class. And now he's visiting Notre Dame this weekend, so we'll see if he ends up at Tennessee, but they have a real shot if they push for him.
Okay, let's quickly run through 3 guys that you think may flip from the Vols, if we've got that graphic ready. And you just mentioned Anthony Grant. You're a little out of order here, but you have the exact same guys. So Anthony Grant, running back, 3-star. Why do you think he may flip out? Tennessee's basket quickly.
The fact that he's visiting elsewhere, Florida State's come calling, and he's a guy that he didn't sign in December, which tells you very much open.
Okay, and then DeAndre ONeal, Ryan, defensive tackle, both of you guys have him on there. Why do you think he could flip?
I think this is a situation where the former staff saw him as a fit, and the new staff maybe not so much. There are also concerns about his knee injury that he suffered this fall, pretty serious knee injury. I think he does end up elsewhere, just a matter of where he goes on signing day.
Okay, and the last guy's a name that everyone was very impressed with when Tennessee got him because he committed. He'd never even been on campus, and he came in and apparently liked his visit from what I was told. Linebacker J.J. Peterson, 4-star. Let's come back to the guys and let them finish up very quickly. Why do you guys feel he may flip from Tennessee?
I would say, first of all, just because Alabama's been in the mix, he's been high on Alabama in the past, he did take a visit there, so you never rule anything out in recruiting. I think he signs with Tennessee, but Nick Saban in the picture, you at least have to pay attention.
Yeah, only 4 current commitments, as you said, not signed with Tennessee, so that was the reason for me. The only other commitment we didn't mention, Jordan Young, 4-star wide receiver. I don't think he goes anywhere. J.J. Peterson, I also, like Josh, don't think he goes anywhere, but just for the fact that he did visit Alabama last weekend, you don't rule out the possibility that something crazy happens there down the stretch.
All right, very good. 2 segments, and you guys didn't fist fight. I'm disappointed. All right, much more recruiting a little bit later. Also, we'll talk some football later, but we're back to basketball. We're going to talk about Tennessee's chances in the SEC. We're going to look at the week ahead. We're going to talk about their NCAA hopes. It's the Great Wall of Hoops next on the Sports Source.